Alright guys, welcome back. Sanitized knives. I got my Brussels sprouts washed and cleaned. I'm about to slice these up actually. And make a shredded Brussels sprout with prosciutto side dish. So basically you just cut them in half and you thinly slice them down to the stalk. Get rid of the stalk. You don't want the stalk. Get rid of them. It basically will look like cabbage. Once you're done. Oh, let me start off by showing you guys the proper way to hold your knife. You know, obviously non-cooks will hold their knives. You're not Michael Myers. You want your thumb on the blade, like so. I don't know if you can see this, just like that. Here, proper posture, and when you cut, you want to use your knuckles basically to guide the knife. You don't want your fingers under there because obviously, but you want to use your knuckles. No fingers exposed, no nothing, and just slice. Let your knuckles guide the knife. You don't cut your fingers, and you're not taking a trip to an unwanted trip to the ER. Always remember that when doing any type of cutting, to avoid any injuries. You know, believe it or not, proper posture does help. You don't want to be slouched over cutting, because then, you know, you want to see what you're cutting. And by then, you know, over time, you'll be able to, as you see some of these chefs on TV chopping like fucking super fast. I can do that, but I like to take my time, just because I'm not on a time limit at home. You know, most of these guys that you see on TV, Chef Ramsay and all these people, they're on TV. They have a time limit, so they have to kind of speed through a lot of things when cooking. Sometimes I do test myself, just in case I do get that opportunity to present my skills on TV or any show. Just to keep myself on point, if you will. Feel free to comment, ask any questions. I pretty much answer anything, wrestling related, food related, anything you want to know, marriage related. Yes, I am married to a very beautiful bodybuilder wife who is a pain in the ass at times, because I don't get the whole bodybuilding world, but nor do I choose to. I mean, she gets mad at me because I don't want to involve myself in it. It's just something that's not part of my world. I mean, I do support her. I do love her, and I'm proud of the things that she does. But, like I said, to each his own. This recipe that I'm doing, I did find it somewhere. I forgot where I found it, but I kind of added a few things and kind of tweaked it up a little bit to my liking, and clearly a lot of customers enjoy it now as part of their meal preps. They even ask for pounds of this stuff. So it's time consuming. Right now is the time consuming part, because you're kind of shredding everything. As I said, get rid of all the stalks, you don't need them. And basically, as you can see, we got a nice shredded pile right here. I'm going to continue on. Shredding these. I got a whole what do you call it? A whole bowl full of these, washed and ready to go. If you can, when cooking any type of vegetable, or even cooking period, try to go fresh if you can. I mean, sometimes the bag stuff is good, especially if you're in a rush. But the bag stuff a lot of times has a lot of chemicals and pesticides and what have you in it. If you buy the fresh, you know you're getting fresh. You always inspect it, of course, because these are vegetables. Vegetables grow out of the ground. Vegetables, since they're in the ground, obviously the dirt, you know what lives in the dirt. Insects, bugs, worms, whatever. So get in the habit of always washing your vegetables, no matter, even if they're in the bag, still wash them. I know you've seen videos on YouTube or Facebook of people finding worms and whatever else in their bags of vegetables. Canned vegetables, again, if you're in a rush, I mean, since I started cooking, we grew up obviously using canned vegetables. My grandmother always used canned vegetables, family canned vegetables. They're, again, good for, like I said, if you're in a rush and you just want to get shit done fast, they're good. But also, canned vegetables, again, have a lot of preservatives, a lot of things in there that take away from the actual nutrients of the vegetable. Fresh vegetables is always the best way to go. That way you keep and contain all the nutrients and the vitamins and everything that the vegetable is supposed to provide on its own. But again, ever since I started cooking, like I said, when I went into culinary arts school and started learning new things and different things, and I do now appreciate the freshness of a fresh vegetable. And you will notice a difference. There is a difference, believe it or not, between canned and fresh. So, right now, like I said, I do need to buy another cutting board. I'm using one right now that I constantly have to clean and sanitize every time I use it. Like right now, obviously you see that I'm doing vegetables. So anything, as you see here, nice pile. Anything vegetable related, in the same family, I'll continue to use this cutting board. As you see, it's like lettuce. anything, like I said, vegetable-wise, I can continue to use this same board and chop up all the vegetables that I need. So usually what I do, I get in the habit of doing all my vegetables first. Whatever I need to chop, I do all my vegetables first. Onions, obviously you see Brussels sprouts, mushrooms. You don't want to cross-contaminate, you know, vegetables and your proteins. Obviously, again, proteins carry a lot of germs. Vice versa, same thing. Even though you washed your vegetables and what have you, you'd never want to cross-contaminate your cutting boards with cutting meat and vegetables at the same time, or anything at the same time. Meat, vegetables, whatever, fruits. Vegetables with vegetables, chop them up first. And anytime you stop, case in point, you just seen I wipe my forehead, I always dip my hand in my sanitizer water just to be on the safe side. But if you walk away, go to the bathroom, anything, always come back. Again, never trust your environment. As I said here earlier, I have kids. We have a dog. I have a wife who doesn't know. Sometimes I yell at her all the time as far as kitchen etiquette. But you never know. So again, get in the habit of re-cleaning your area. You can never clean too many times, especially when cooking. You always want to be safe. Me, again, because I cook for a lot of people, even in the restaurant that I work at, the Prime Rib in Philadelphia, it's just a force of habit. So but again, main thing, like I said, get into the habit of getting all your ingredients up front. That way you know what you're working with. You see what you're working with. It's called a mise en place, which is basically having all your ingredients weighed out, measured, and ready to go. It actually speeds up your cooking and speeds up your cook time and your prep time, because the longer you take to look for the items that you need, the longer it'll take you to get the stuff done. And I know nobody wants to be up, you know, dinner time is supposed to be at 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock. You don't want to be cooking until 7, 8 o'clock because you didn't have your stuff ready. In the beginning, again, before I even started cooking, I would be doing the same. You'd see me running in and out of the refrigerator every 5 minutes, and it would get on my damn nerves. Now, thinking back, it gets on my nerves because it's like, Jesus, if I would have had stuff done or prepped out, measured, weighed, all my ingredients, it would have made my cook time and prep time a whole lot faster. Now, looking back. But again, you can't rewind time. Sometimes I wish. I know a lot of people wish, but can't do it. But now, like I said, since culinary arts school and cooking, now I've learned a whole lot. Working in the restaurant, I've learned a whole lot as far as cook-wise and prep time, and as the executive chef there always used to tell me, time is money. And yeah, basically it is. Time is money. That phrase, you can never go wrong, especially when it comes to cooking. Because again, you get into your own business, you start cooking for people, you decide you want to open up a restaurant on your own. Again, you gotta look at it. Time is money. You don't want customers sitting around complaining they're waiting for food. I mean, I've done it. I still do it sometimes if I go out to a restaurant. I take my wife out. Like yesterday, I was sitting there laughing because it's like now, since I am a chef and do my own cooking and work for a restaurant, I kind of sit there every time I'm eating and I'm like thinking, gee, I wonder, does their prep cook do the same things I do at work? Does their chef do this? What kind of ingredients are they using in this? And I started analyzing other people's food now. My wife hates me because I analyze her food all the time. There is a time, or there is a point where, yeah, I can pretty much taste something and tell you almost every ingredient that's in the dish, almost, especially as far as spice-wise. I know as I gotten older, my taste buds are kind of getting hitting a little different, but I can still kind of taste some of the things that are in certain foods, and most of the time I'm pretty much spot on as far as what ingredients are in there. Then I have family members looking at me like, wow, how do you know? Oh yeah, I can taste. I can taste. You can taste. Especially if you get real serious into doing what cooking, obviously, because I love what I do. You take the time to learn things and taste things, because as a chef, you have to taste your cooking to see what you're missing, what ingredients or what you could add, what you need to take out. Especially spice-wise, you don't want to over-season your food, which that's a whole nother story. Which is funny because, again, I love my white people. I love all of them. And you know that joke that always goes around, white people just season their food with salt and pepper. Black people season their food with everything they can find in the kitchen. But since I started cooking, I did turn into a white person. I found salt and pepper goes a long way. Even though I used to joke all the time about it. But in a restaurant, literally, that's all you're using. That's all you're seasoning food with, salt and pepper. You might throw like a fresh thyme or something in there, but your basic seasoning, salt and pepper. And like I said, I just kind of, now I sit back and laugh because it was always that big joke. And like I said, not being racist or anything, I'm just being funny. I love all my peoples, even my Caucasian friends. But yeah, salt and pepper is not only just a white person food, it's everywhere you go, even in your high dollar fancy restaurants. They don't use all the fancy accents and garlic peppers and powders and onion powders and all that stuff. Believe it or not, you get a lot of flavoring from the vegetables, and a lot of the foods that you cook have their own natural flavors. And they bring out, when you mix them all together, they bring out a whole new flavor, added on top of the salt and pepper. So again, like I said, you can use, not saying that I don't use a lot of that extra stuff, the accents and the garlic powders and the peppers, the garlic salts and sazons, and it just depends on what I'm making. I'll use those things if it calls for it. Or a lot of times you can make it yourself. Like, I got into the habit now of learning how to make sauces and different seasonings on my own, as opposed to buying, you know, store-bought seasonings. Because again, a lot of the store-bought seasonings, you never know what's in it. Like I said, and it's the same thing with again, it's the same thing going back to saying what's in, you know, your canned vegetables. You never know what's in that can with the vegetables. So, and again, you know, a lot of this stuff, yes, is time consuming.
Is there any previous wrestlers named Julia Renee?
Julia Renee?
Her actual name? Yeah.
No, why? Not that I know of.
Well, I guess she ain't. She didn't do very well at wrestling.
And yes, that's the annoying wife right there. You'll see her occasionally from time to time.
Whatever.
Being a pain in my ass. Oh my God, that fat burner that I took is like making me sweat. I should have waited to take it.
Is this match?
Yes,
It's got green right here.
it is what it is. Unless you're trying to pick up men at the gym or women.
Yup, all day.
Yeah, I know.
They love me. I don't be trying to pick them up, but they be like, damn, mommy, you got some muscles. What's up?
No, they like, damn that ass. That's all they're looking at. They ain't worrying about your damn muscles. They're just looking at your ass.
Really?
I could tell you that.
What the hell? What is wrong with you? Everybody is not worried about my butt.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Just you.
Alright, well, I am going to finish chopping these up, and I will be back on later with the rest of the process.